Okay. Yeah. So Cody might join us. He said that if we started a little bit later, then he'd be able to join in. But I told him, I was like, I'm not gonna hold everybody up for one person. So
Yeah.
he might jump in here when he can, when he gets off work or whatever. But anyways, the big thing, Foundry got an update to like version 10 or something. I tried to migrate everything over, but to put this
A lot
into
of our modules aren't supported.
perspective, Foundry is like the foundation of the program. Meanwhile, 5e is a separate game system along with other modules. Like everything else is third party. So like the system had to update, the modules have to update and everything. And for the most part, it was working except one small little thing that kind of broke the game. So I had to back up the files, re-download the old Foundry, make sure everything was good. So hopefully your characters are all good.
Yeah, everything seems fine.
Yeah, I mean, like when we get into combat and stuff, hopefully everything runs smoothly. But it was kind of a headache at first, but it honestly wasn't that bad. So hopefully everything gets updated, and then we're able to get to the version 10 and see what that's like. But as far as I know, it's like UI changes and stuff. I haven't read the patch notes, but
hopefully it'll lead to some new modules being created.
I mean, maybe it's usually just bug fixes and like little quality of life changes, as far as I know.
Yeah, but it's going all the way to 10.0. That's a big deal.
Yeah, there's probably big. I gotta read the patch notes. There's probably a lot of shit with it, but I had to re-download all the modules individually, so I apologize if there's some that are missing. I think for the most part, I got like 99% of them. I also installed the chat GIF. I think Eli was here for that, so hopefully, that had some comedic effect sometimes.
Yes.
Guys. Go ahead.
But I think other than that, everything else is the same. The chat or the GIF one was the only like addition, which you could also like do a GIF in different languages. I guess I don't know. I don't know why you'd ever want to do that unless like you want to. I don't know.
Chat to with your fellow elven brethren about the.
Yeah. Sharing GIFs over the elven language.
Yeah.
But, anyways.
I think I found out what our new objective needs to be. I found out where the dungeon master lives.
Top right,
He's in the top left corner. Let's go get him.
What?
Oh yeah.
Look, you're in the top left corner there.
What are you talking about?
Oh, he's gone.
His cursor's gone now.
He just
so your
disappeared.
cursor will
He
show
just
up
disappeared.
if you don't move it for a while. It'll be in the top left corner, I think.
Yeah, you're gone now.
Oh.
He's teleported. He moved homes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because having the cursor on for literally everybody, it just gets so distracting.
Yeah, I get it.
But anyways, to kind of recap, last session, Iljor and Sylvia were restored from their petrified state by Ontero Asgard from the Arcana Guild. Carlisle was able to.
Ontario.
Yeah, Carlisle was able to negotiate the pay with the Adventurers Guild fairly well. Everybody was thoroughly paid. I hope so. And you guys had sat down.
I demand more money.
It's a little too late for that, but maybe through the next adventure, you guys will probably collect.
Oh yes.
A little bit more. But going back to your stay at the Red Rest Inn, Carlisle and Iljor had a sit down, and they talked about various routes that you all could go with disposing of the amulet, Wayfarer's amulet. He had mentioned a trip to Yosemite,
It's really far away.
which is extremely far away. Turning it into the Arcana Guild for a small reward, or traveling to the mines of Doomgore, where a sphere of annihilation lies within the dungeons, or within the dark underbelly of the Diaker Mountains. With that in mind, you guys had journeyed to in and around the city of Jalou to gather supplies, and due to just the the overnight battle with the basilisk. You guys had slept pretty much all day and set off in the early morning hours of I believe it was the early morning hours of the 27th, but everything you guys had shopped and everything the 26th, which is actually pretty crazy because I found out last time talking with Cody that in-game time it was August 26th and we had played on August 26th. So I thought that was like a little weird.
Wild.
Yeah, we were like looking at it and I was like, no shit, like we played on the day. Anyways.
Also, I got a cool statue of a tree.
Yes, you did. From an old lady. I think her name was Mary Ann. Which
I have that noted in the description of the item.
Which brings us to the current state where we're at right now. You had journeyed off in the middle of the night, essentially towards the Diacre Mountains. Your horses making haste along the way into the early morning hours of the 28th. Overcoming some small hiccups here and there, you were able to reach the outskirts of the capital city of Thaldor in, I believe, just a couple days. The ride along the way through the Brown Oak Hills wasn't terrible. Not really seeing much of any sort of, like enemies or... It's a very wide open, very plainy area. Somewhat hilly, but the trail that you guys went along was fairly flat. Thaldor. Thaldor is a city almost as old as Caldera itself. It sits just south of the Diacre Mountain Range if you're looking on the map. And its presence pretty much looms over not like really a valley, but like right beneath the Diacre Mountains, as you can see like from the landscape. It houses many different sects of individuals, various organizations and groups. The city wouldn't technically refer to themselves, and by the city I mean like the upper branches of government wouldn't really identify themselves with any sort of religious affiliation, but the people would disagree. There's various churches and organizations, some not just religious, mainly like spiritual, some not worshiping any deity, but a particular presence or particular, you name it. There's a lot of different organizations and such there. But coming upon the outskirts of Thaldor, it's about midday. Let me go ahead and do this a little. Travel. Sorry, I'm changing the music to be less ominous.
I'm just curious, Nick. Do we know where your character's from? Have we discussed that?
Bro, I haven't even told anybody what my last name is.
Okay.
Now,
I don't remember. So I was asking.
I know. I was just telling you.
The city of Thaldor, currently Friday. It remains eerily quiet. Fridays and Sundays, as you might know, an Aryan in the capital city of Thaldor is essentially like rest days. Think of like your typical Sunday, but it extends to Friday as well.
I wish.
Businesses close early on Fridays, and city life almost essentially grinds to a halt. Many of the denizens kind of take that time to sit in and tend to their families, their crop, their hobbies, or whatever they want to do. As your horses are like trotting through, like coming through the newly renovated gates, the city is very, very much modernized, as the culture has shifted very recently, probably within the last 20 years or so, to a much more open in terms of smaller voices, such as minority races and groups of people that normally wouldn't get a voice have a voice in some fashion. It's became more inclusive, and the older generations are a little less hesitant, but have kind of succumbed to the almost peer pressure of everything. So you don't find a lot of businesses or people, for that matter, that would really turn somebody away due to their affiliations with any particular group. Passing through the city itself, like I said, it's a Friday, so the city isn't necessarily bustling. However, you can see various children playing in the street, a few Dragonborn discussing the current political climate as you kind of ride by, and a beautiful elven woman. As you can see, she walks outside and sets a sign on her business that reads closed as she very quickly goes back in, taking in the environment and everything around you. And Arian, you've actually been here before, so you're somewhat familiar. And anybody else who has been in this region that might have a reason to have ever come here, you sort of know the landscape, but I don't think anybody's necessarily like lived in here or been here for quite some time.
This is outside my comfort zone. I probably haven't been here before.
Yeah. Now, however, you guys aren't necessarily strolling into the city in the dark, so to speak. Arosi, within the last few years, and even somewhat before that, you have heard rumors. I'm going to turn down the music just slightly. You've heard rumors of survivors of your clan after the cult attack. It was, I don't want to say well established, but it was almost not even really almost confirmed, but it was the general consensus of the region that Clan Orosi had been wiped out. But nevertheless, rumors have persisted about sightings of certain individuals that may have looked or have claimed they were from Clan Orosi after the attack. While you were in the city of Anchorage, before you had met Anarian and Eljor, a photo of a man was released. This man had committed petty theft, a very minor infraction of the law. However, you believed you had recognized this man from way back when. Upon further investigation, you had found him where he was being held. You had questioned him, and you had essentially came to the conclusion that this man had at least been around the clan or had knew people in the clan. And he had given you a list of names. One of them being another Dragonborn by the name of Khadgar, who resided in the city of Thaldor. These other names that were given to you, you recognized, or you have at least, seen that person once or twice. But the rest didn't necessarily come with any sort of destinations. They were essentially cold leads for you to investigate. But nevertheless, Khadgar in the city of Thaldor, an estimation would probably be he would live in the residential district or so. He didn't give you a very good sense of direction of where he might be staying. This was also a few months ago.
All right.
This petty theft infraction kind of led you to investigate further into the Thieves Guild, which is one of the reasons why you were there talking with I forget the man's name. He was there when you had met Anarian and
Yeah.
Iljor. So the general consensus of the party is to see this man, and all they really know is that he is. I mean, I don't know how you would describe it. I would assume someone that you have that you knew a long time ago. I don't know if you really indulge like clan information or anything, but
probably not. No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. This Arosi Khadgar, from what you can
His name was
remember.
Ernest Pryor.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Ernest Pryor.
Ernest Pryor.
Ernest Pryor. Fucking. You know what, Nick? Take an inspiration point, fucker.
Yeah.
Take an inspiration point, bro. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
Arosi Khadgar, residing in the residential district of the city, a former Arosi clan member who you don't know how the names of these individuals could have gotten away from the attack. These are just kind of like I said, rumors. But yeah, from what you know of this man, Arosi Khadgar, from way back when, 10 years ago or so, before the attack, which I believe was 9 years ago, because you're 24, and this happened when you were 15.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, this is like about a decade ago. He would frequent the bars in the area fairly often.
All right then.
But nevertheless, you guys have stepped through the city, and yeah, what would you like to do?
What time did you say we arrived?
Oh, noon.
It's about midday.
Noon, okay. And how long have we been traveling up until this point today?
Today, you guys had left probably 6 a.m. or so.
So we've been traveling a good 6 hours.
Yeah.
Hey
6-ish.
guys, we should probably go get something to eat.
Probably find a place to stow these horses first.
I agree. We should find a stable quickly.
And after
before they
that,
close as well.
and after a meal, I might have a walk around town.
Okay.
There you go, Iljor. There's your
Hey.
walking partner.
This man takes walks in and
At
out
least,
of real life.
at least he gets it.
So as do this a little bit. As you guys make your way into the city, you find a stable that's fairly well kept with various horses. The stable keep assures you that your horses will be well taken care of, and you take inventory of your belongings before you lock up. Arosi and Iljor, you guys wanted to take a walk around the city?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Sylvia and Arian,
Familiarize.
I'm assuming you're following along unless you have anything specific.
Yeah, I'll join him.
Okay. An Arian?
See, I told you guys, walking around cities is great.
Yeah, I mean, I'll stick with everybody so we don't get split up.
Okay, fair enough. Stepping out over the paved stone, it looks to be fairly. Excuse me. Looks to be fairly. I'd say fairly new as far as when the road was laid. A lot of the buildings and roads were renovated with the coming of the new government not too long ago. You don't see very many people out, but that's not abnormal, it being a Friday. As you walk down the main street, essentially, there are various shops, but it's mostly sort of like weapons manufacturing and armor manufacturing. It's a very industrial, I guess, would be a way to put it. It's light and magic, but there are places to go for it. but it is mostly a sword and board kind of city, at least in this region, in this district.
Does it seem like there's an adventurers guild around here?
Not where you're standing. No, an adventurers guild may be maybe deeper within the city.
What do you guys think about finding the adventurers guild to stay at?
Well, only 2 of us are officially part of them, aren't they?
We did sign up when we took up that job with Carlisle and Sylvia.
Did we officially sign up then?
I believe so.
Carlisle speaks up. He says, "You know, when I looked at the contract afterwards, and we were all paid, all of our names were down on there. So we have some history, I suppose."
Well, might be a free or cheaper room.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I agree. Might be a good idea.
Sure. Let's go check it out.
Okay. Venturing through the city, passing by, say about 40% of the shops are closed at this moment, and are closing as you continue to walk. The Adventurers Guild, from what you can vaguely remember, Anarian, being here maybe once or twice in your life, you kind of lead the party in the direction of where that might be in the city.
Okay.
And you eventually find it. The Adventurers Guild is a fairly large building. The area in which Thaldor resides is very rich in mystery, I guess, would be an interesting viewpoint to look at it, with the Diacre Mountains being there. There's a lot of untreaded land, as it's very harsh in like the top regions, like the peaks and certain areas of the.
Is this
the
like a
Diacre.
fairly flat city, or is it like a tiered city built like?
No,
si-
it's
into
fairly
the side of the mountains?
it's fairly flat. When you get up to the north, it kind of elevates a little bit, but for the most part, it's not. It's not like Minas Tirith or anything.
Gotcha.
We're like the foothills of the mountains.
Yeah, you guys would be. Yeah, kind of.
How far is it from Thalador actually to like the mountains?
From the northernmost part of the city, it'd be probably about an hour trek to the base of the initial mountains.
Gotcha.
Not super
So it's
long.
still out on. Yeah, it's still a little ways away though.
An hour on foot?
Yeah, on foot. So not that bad.
Not terribly far.
It's still very much hilly, but yeah. So
Okay.
the Adventurers Guild, you eventually find it. It's not as bustling as the previous. The building itself, however, stands about 4 stories tall, so it's a very, very large building. It being the capital city, just general character knowledge, the Adventurers Guild takes on a lot of members and lets go of a lot of members. So their numbers could range anywhere between 1,000 to 3,000, depending on what day and the time of year. So yeah, that's as you guys walk in, though, the doors are very much open. It's a very open floor plan. There's a couple dwarves sitting in a corner, talking about various weapons. There's a man who is not sitting behind a counter, but he's kind of like scribbling down various notes on one of like the various set up tables around there. But there's not very many bodies around.
Oh, it is Friday.
Well, shall we grab some food? See if we go to be fed and allowed a room.
That
Yes.
sounds like a good idea.
Rosie starts marching up to the counter. Good day.
See the man stop scribbling. Well, good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon.
How can I help you?
Yes. Me and my friends here, Adventurers Guild Associates, we're
Hi,
looking.
Rosie.
we're looking for some room and board, if it's provided.
Okay. Can I get your name, please?
Yes. I am Orosi Rogar of Clan Orosi, and he kind of gestures at everyone else, awkwardly waiting for an introduction.
I
Sylvia.
am Niljor.
The man.
So
Sorry, go ahead.
that's Iljor. Orosi introduces them all. Iljor, Sylvia, Carlisle, and Anarion.
Clan Rossi.
Yes,
I haven't heard of that one before.
you have.
I have not.
Oh, you have not. We're a group. We were based just west of Anchorage, out into the Grayberg Hills, but it's a long story, but they're no longer there.
I'm sorry to hear that. Let's get you set up. Let me check our records real quick and see if we have your names down. As you can see, the man journey kind of around the main, or back behind the main counters as he's flipping through various records. These records are maintained sort of through magical means. The information. What's that, Rap?
They're like interconnected. So like something that someone puts in Jaluth is instantly transmitted to Dalador.
Yeah, essentially. All that is.
They got a Google Docs.
Yeah, dude. They got a share drive, bro.
Dude.
Takes a minute for him to flip through various like all the records and such, but you're pretty, how do you say, interesting party with the Furbolg, the Drow, the Dragonborn, and the Triton of all people. So he can easily check the names and verify that with your race. He comes back probably.
Relatively recent.
Yeah, he comes back probably 5 or 10 minutes later. Okay. Just a room for the night in the city?
Some food too would be good, and maybe some drinks. But we can pay for those.
We can discount a meal, but we can't get you free drinks. I apologize.
Well, no, I said we can pay for the drinks. I just want something.
Okay, just as long as we're on the same page, I can get you a room down at the tavern, approximately about a mile down the road. It's going to be at a discounted price, but we can do our best here at the Adventures Guild for you.
Yeah. A room would do wonderfully.
How many?
Us.
What you see is what you got. The 5 of us.
5 rooms.
3?
Well, do we need 5 rooms? I think that's a little bit much. I think we could do like 3, right? You and me, okay, and Neri.
Orosi staring
Share
at
a room.
Eljor with contempt.
Nerian.
Our own rooms would be nice for this one.
Oh,
If
okay.
you
Yeah.
don't mind.
Sure. Okay. Whatever.
Okay, 5 rooms.
It's fine.
5 rooms?
I can get you 5 rooms for. We call it 3 gold.
3 gold. All right. This includes the meal, yes?
Yes, that includes the meal. That's
Wonderful.
what's 1 meal. That is dinner for tonight.
Is that
You
3
have
gold each?
Do you have a
gold
clue
total.
what's on
3
the
gold
menu?
total.
I'm just curious.
3 gold total. All right.
Do we pay you, or do we just let the tavern keeper know?
Oh no, you can pay me. Just I'm gonna give you a slip. It's for a reservation for all of you. You just turn that into the barkeep.
I'll hand him a gold.
All right.
Same.
I'll hand him a
Flips
gold.
the coin over.
All right. 3 gold is exchanged.
Any clue what's on the menu tonight at the tavern?
I don't have that information on hand.
I was just curious.
Dinner is very generalized in these forms, so. He takes a slip of paper. It's very rough brown parchment, but he makes a few scribbles and he stamps it with the Adventurers Guild insignia. Hands you the paper. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Lady.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
Is there anything else I can help you with now that you're here in the Adventurers Guild? Any sort of anything at all?
I mean, we
Any-
could ask them some questions about like. I mean, they might have stuff where we're going. You know, there might be like a quest on the way or so.
Yeah,
Um,
do you have any business in the Diacre Mountains?
The
I mean,
Diacre
the
Mountains.
Diacre Mountains are pretty big.
I can check.
any open contracts as well? Just if there's something we could just hunt in general and just earn a few extra coins.
Let me check. I'm not sure if we have anything at the moment, it being a day where we normally don't give out outside of the city quests, essentially. But let me look and see what we got. Meanwhile, while I check the CR of this.
The Friday special quest.
Yes.
Yeah.
A Lich King has appeared in the center of the city. Eliminate it. Prevent the city from falling.
Immediately dies.
Entire city is lost.
Just waves of zombies.
Guys,
pouring out of the center of the city.
I think the Dungeon Master dropped a DLC.
The Adventurers Guild
Fucking
DLC.
wrecks. Yeah. Fucking wrecks everything for a moment. Oh, new characters. Have to,
Yeah, the fresh start DLC.
yeah.
Sorry, that DR wasn't a 6, it was a 9. A CR.
It was just a Tarask. It's alright.
The CR is only 30. Come on, guys.
The man comes back after about 10 minutes or so. I have a few. I think one might interest you. It's fairly easy. It's not too risky, and there's some gold involved.
See it.
What's the job?
A couple days ago, there were some adventurers that went missing in the Diacre Mountains. The trek is approximately just north. If you go to the northern part of the city and just head north, we were fairly certain they were investigating some stone structures that mysteriously came to being up there. Unfortunately, only one came back. He mentioned that they had gotten caught in a blizzard and somehow separated, and well, he's fairly certain that they're alive, but one can't be sure until we investigate.
This definitely can't wait till Monday.
This is just
what
a
do you guys
complete
think?
shot in the dark. It was a man and a female dwarf. I don't know what they had on them, what sort of provisions they had. This is just something that you guys might be able to do along your way through the Diacre, if that's what your plan is. It's
Aye.
But-
yeah.
Yes.
That sounds about right.
We can at least take a look for you.
let me go see the stipulations and what the contract pays out. It honestly doesn't matter who they are, but if they're with the Adventurers Guild, we normally pay fairly decently to find other adventurers. He looks through his, like, the contract, the notes, essentially. Situationally, with this kind of thing, the guild will pay out approximately 30 gold for each body. If you bring them back alive, depending on who they are and like what they have or what their job was set out, you could get a portion of their contract if it was completed. But there's no like gold ceiling, essentially. Like, it's not like you bring this guy back, it's 50 gold. It's very situationally determined on what happens.
Yeah.
But it's normally at least 30
sense.
gold if you find them and bring back a body.
Yeah. Okay.
Good thing we have a bag of holding, I guess.
You cannot fit a body in a bag of holding if that's what you're trying.
Yeah, you see, that's your problem. That's only if it's in one piece.
Oh my
Bro's
god.
gonna fucking go all Heisenberg and make a dude
Yeah.
smoothie and
Look-
pour it in the bag.
Iljor, I'd like to change your alignment.
Yeah.
Iljor becomes chaotic
Yeah.
evil.
You know, for a furball who's all about the forest and nature and like the preservation of life, you're very morbid, my guy.
Yeah.
I've
My
mentioned
entire
it in
village
character.
burned
I've
down,
had
leaving to
Here,
literally hundreds of people dying.
the what was the phrase? The end of life is filled with life, guys. Come on now.
I'm just here to pass you on to whatever gods you may bow to.
But yeah, so the stipulation is 30 gold at least, but it's all determined about like what happens.
Yeah.
Well, definitely
All
we're
right.
passing through,
So
so
if we
if we
bring
see
them back,
anything,
we'll get at least 30 gold.
Yes, per body.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Did we get this guy's name? Or he did? We didn't ask necessarily.
No. You ask him his name.
Yeah.
He's like, I go by Jackson, but
Good to know.
Michael Jackson. Sorry.
my name's Mike Jackson.
Okay, Jackie, we'll see you again some other time.
Don't call me that.
I
All right,
apologize.
Jake.
I apologize on his behalf. Let's leave.
It's okay.
Yes.
Good luck out there, gentlemen.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
As you guys
Bye, James.
depart, Jesus, as you depart from the Adventurers Guild, walking out of the city, Rosie, just for your essay, the residential district, and I mean you guys kind of discussed this, so right here, but the residential district is more like on the eastern part of the city, just so you're aware. But
What's the time of day? Probably about
12:30, like not much time has passed since you guys
not much
came.
Yeah.
let's just go secure our rooms then. Probably see
I
to
agree.
lunch, and then I'll work on my business, I suppose.
Understood. Do you need any assistance?
Having a friend probably would help. Thank you.
Oh, you have my back. I've got yours.
I come.
The more the merrier, I suppose. Although I'm not sure if I should be looking like I'm bringing a gang with me either.
Well, I'm no stranger to keeping my distance, so
Well, we're a little bit of a motley crew.
I'll make sure Iljor and I keep our distance from you. So
Yes, I trust.
As you make your way down the main street, following the directions from Jackson, the inn/tavern is called the Intrepid Flame, and following his directions, sure enough, on your right-hand side, a tavern and inn stands right in between a blacksmith shop and a who specializes in various high-end weapons, and a small armor shop, like an armor shop. Armorer. Yeah, thank you.
there you go.
I was trying to think of the word. But yeah, this building stands 2 stories and is fairly I don't want to say run down, but it's had its nights of wild partying. As you can see on one of the windows on the side is kind of like somebody threw a rock through it. Shutters on some sides are kind of slightly hanging, but for the most part, it's not an eyesore. It looks fairly nice.
You can tell this is where the people from the Adventurers Guild hang out.
Considering that they sent us here, yeah.
I mean, they do have a contract. Stepping through the double doors, the tavern is more packed than you would normally think. It's like Fridays and Sundays are generally rest days, but you also have the people that will go out and like have a few beers, enjoy a nice time, so on. There's probably about 25 to 30 people in here.
Yeah, I look for a table for all of us.
You do
Do
find
you have the paper thingy?
The slip. You said he was gonna give us a
The
slip.
slip, yeah.
Yeah, you guys
we
got a
do-
slip.
I've got the slip, yeah.
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 There's
Uh,
a
th-
there's a slip for each and every one of you for your rooms and
Alright.
meal. So
Oh, we each have an individual slip.
yeah, because you each got a room
Uh,
yeah.
with a meal included. So you find a table, a 5-person table, trying not to sit close to the rest of the people inside. You can find a table that's kind of a little bit off. The inn is populated with various different races. Like I said, Thaldor is a very inclusive community of people throughout the city. Humans, dwarves, gnomes, even your occasional dragonborn, and a race that you haven't seen in a while. It may even be sort of new to you, Ilchor, depending on how far you have ventured out. But it's a fairly short race, usually shrouded in various like burlap garb, with a very long beak sticking out from a hood. Very bird-like in its appearance. No, but your character would know that. Anarian, in this region, maybe not in this really city, but like within this area of Caldera, houses a small community of Kenkus.
Gotcha.
But you don't see them very often.
Yeah.
Getting the table, kind of observing the environment, it all feels relatively safe. The barkeep, who seems to be a very young male individual, blonde hair, blue-eyed, probably no older than like early 20s. You see him come over to your table and place menus around each of you. Takes out his notepad, and this is what happens with all within like a couple seconds. He's very quick about it. All right, gentlemen, lady, what can I get for you this evening?
What have you got?
Well, our special today is lamb, but feel free to look over the menu. Can I get you guys any drinks to start out?
Yes, I'll take an ale, please.
I'll take an ale.
Ale.
You got any root brew?
We do have root brew, actually. One root
I'll
brew.
take a cup.
And Carlisle orders just a water, as
Same as Sylvia.
as he scribbles down. He kind of departs to another small table where he takes another order.
So, what do you guys think?
Well, I'm not entirely certain, but I think there might be somebody from my old clan here in this town.
I haven't heard you say much about your clan before.
No, it's a painful memory, but
I can understand that.
if I can find someone, maybe they'll understand a little bit more what was going on then.
Is this your business you spoke of?
Yes.
Well, as I said, if you need help, I will assist, but I understand if that is a matter you would rather handle personally.
I don't know what to expect.
I've got your back either way.
Thank you.
Arosi, I'm gonna throw you over to the one-on-one real quick.
Yeah.
So, just speaking to you on a one-on-one basis. So, I'm not indulging. I know I indulged a little bit more information than I would like in the general chat for everybody to know. And I apologize for that. I know, like.
Oh, that's all right.
Okay, cool. What's that?
I was gonna say this would probably be like a priority for my character anyway, and not to say that I feel like I've kind of left you in the dark on a couple of things. Not to say that it really is any information. I do kind of like to improv just a little bit with some of these things. So So what was I gonna say? Yeah. Do you want me to like give you like additional information or like supplies or anything though, like maybe like an image to go by or anything like that to just easier way through with the DMing or?
I kind of have a plan. I reread your backstory.
Yeah.
As I read it, after the fact, I read that like the clan Orosi was essentially wiped out.
Wiped out, yeah.
And I think from your character's viewpoint, it would have seemed like that. And I think bringing somebody, or even like the rumors of somebody, or some people making it out because you made it out, what's there to say that somebody else didn't make it out the same way?
Yeah.
So yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say just improv in general. So I don't know what to expect from this encounter at all. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, I'm trying to. If you don't feel like I'm portraying a member of Clan Orosi the way you had intended, just let me know. But it's.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, this does kind of fall into the issues on my part, I guess.
Well, what's your 2 cents?
I'll go with it. I'll go improv all the way with it. If it's like not something I expected, I'll try to work my way with that, I guess, and then we'll move on from there. If I don't like it, then we'll talk about it. If I like it, we'll talk about it. We'll figure it out.
Okay. Then I'll just continue on and
just continue. Yeah, just continue on.
I think the only part is that your backstory said that everybody was wiped out, which I think bringing that those rumors of somebody being alive, or at least a couple people, would make the whole Orosi character's arc interesting. But yeah, if there was additional information that you had in the back of your head that wasn't included in your backstory that I can add in some way.
I do have a tendency to sometimes think I've communicated things, and maybe I haven't. But I mean, looking at my backstory right now, I don't think there's anything that's like out of left field for me, really.
Okay. Yeah, like I said, the only thing that was like slightly changed was like, because I feel like your character would think everybody was wiped out, but
yeah, no, that would probably that would be the perception. Actually, I did write it like that. I kind of hinted at like, for as far as he knows, he's the only one left alive. But
yeah, well, we'll talk after the session.
Yeah.
But all right, I'll move back.
All right.
Okay. Sorry about that. Where were we? Oh, you guys were speaking on Orosi's.
I will say, Anarion does he's got kind of like a stare going on. He seems like he's got a lot on his mind at the moment. He's just kind of, whenever there's not like active conversation going on, he's just kind of like looking through things, you know.
Okay.
And does Ildor notice?
Make a perception check, or make a whatever 5e is. I think it's perception.
Yeah.
Yeah.
$17. How would you describe your behavior, Nick? Would you say on edge would be fairly accurate?
Yeah, probably.
I think Ildor, you take into account, Anarian seems aware. He is very, when he walks into a place, he finds the nearest exit.
Like in the moment, he's like very focused.
Yeah, there's contingency plans depending on what happens. He's a very well thought out drow. He plans for
worst case
scenario and worst case scenario part 2. Like he's always he's always tries to have a plan depending on what happens. You don't really know why. I mean, a person like that is always good to be around because they're generally well prepared depending on what the situation is. But yeah, that's the kind of vibe you're getting from an Aryan right now.
Yeah, Narian, you want to take a look at my book? We can like look at some of the herbs that are going to be up in the mountains, see if there's anything interesting that we might want to grab on the way.
Yes, I can assist you if you wish. You're a little more of an expert than I am on herbs and such.
Just like trying to take his mind off of things, like give him something to do,
Mm-hmm.
so he's not so in his head.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So I just sort of pop out the Tome of Talon's Fall, and I'm just like going over like the different herbs and stuff that are like in and around like the Diarca Mountains that it would have listed in it.
I mean, I don't have specifics.
I know.
In my
I know,
notes.
but I'm just doing it to pass time. I'm not saying that it's like actually anything.
Okay. Okay.
I'm doing it for the purpose of interacting with Anarion to
Gotcha. If there's anything that you're trying
more
to
use.
pick up along the way for something, just tell me what you're trying to make, or what you're trying to, essentially what you're trying to make, and then I will determine if it exists there. The Diacre Mountains, Anarion is very harsh for the most part in a lot of regions. The safe regions being the trails and roads through it. But yeah, just take that into account.
For sure.
I would say there is probably something specific that I would be looking for, like very hardy plants,
What do you mean by that?
like like you said, plants that can live in tough conditions.
Okay.
Just for almost research purposes. Like maybe to eventually like take seeds home and like try to grow them.
Okay.
Like study the plants and things like that.
Gotcha. Several minutes goes by. The young male comes back. He takes your order, depending on what you get. I mean, there's various different meats and such that you can acquire.
Are drinks shown up yet? Did he bring them just
Yes.
then, or is
I'm sorry. Yeah, your drinks had shown up mid conversation with Rogar, and
So when they show up, Inarion downs like half of it
Yeah,
in the
okay.
first drink.
okay, fair. And you present your slips essentially. There is a discounted cost for the meals.
I need to take that gold away.
Anything that you order over that is essentially out of pocket. So can I safely assume that everybody just orders whatever is included with the ticket?
Yeah.
I'll have a couple extra drinks probably, but outside
Right.
of that,
Right. Okay.
I'll drink with
Each
Anarion too, so I'll get extra drinks.
drink is 2 silver. Besides you, Sylvia, who just got water. But you all enjoy, over the course of 30-45 minutes or so, a nice hot meal provided by the Intrepid Flame Tavern and Inn. You check in with the barkeep where you get your rooms, your 5 rooms. It's all a very quick process. The rooms included are decent. Houses a bed, a small desk, but it's not extravagant by any means. Being within the city, actually, of the capital, with so many people of the Adventurers Guild in different contracts with different places, the cost of a very expensive room would be a lot for the Adventurers Guild. So they try to go with almost the bare minimum. But you guys have acquired your rooms. You kind of not really settled, but just kind of taken into account everything going on. Check your rooms for everything, and yeah, it's probably like around 1:30 or so. What would you guys like to do?
I mean, I'd probably just chill in my room after our meal and stuff, in contemplation, kind of knowing where I am and my history with the area.
Okay.
And then wait for. I told Erosi I'd help him, so I just wait for Erosi. If he comes and get me, I'll tag along and help him with what he wants.
Okay. I would like to move you over to the one-on-one, Nick.
Okay.
Is there any sort of being in Thaldor, right?
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're on edge because.
How close we are to Star Strider hold.
Okay, and just the
Just knowing that.
yeah, with the, I guess, lack of knowledge of what happened and
Yeah.
you might get recognized and such. I just wanted to make that
Exactly.
very
Yep.
apparent.
That's the premise of it.
Okay. Being that you're within very close proximity to Star Strider hold, what the fuck is this man doing?
Who knows?
Fucking idiot. Is there anything that Anarian has plans for in this region?
Not at the moment. No. I mean, because his ultimate goal, when he took up the sword and all that was, he basically took a personal vow of vengeance against those responsible for what happened. But he ultimately knows that he needs to gain strength and power before he can accomplish his objective. So he's not necessarily in a rush to get back to Star Strider hold at the moment unless something brings him there,
Gotcha. Okay, I just wanted to like, I know with him being so close to the region, I'm about to fucking kick this guy, dude. I'm about to fucking kick him. I'm about to ban him from. Oh god, dude. Hold on. Stop it, you fucker. Anyways. I just want to make sure I know you're like within distance. I didn't know if Anarian had any plans, so that's all.
Nothing particular.
All right, cool. All right, we'll go back. Little fucker. Anyways, settle into your rooms.
So worth it.
What is on the agenda, boys?
Whatever Rosie's doing.
Are there any bodies of water close, in like within the city?
Not within the city, no.
Sylvia usually goes underwater for prayer, so this time she's just gonna chill in her room and pray to Persona.
Head in a bucket.
In the toilet. Okay. You take your time to. Any particular thing you're praying about, or just the good nature of the rest?
She's kind of praying for guidance on whether she should stick with this group or not, whether she should really keep on going with this adventuring away from her home.
Okay. What's your deity's name again?
Persona.
Persona.
Everybody's got home issues.
You've prayed to Persona in the past various times, obviously. Sometimes she responds in her own ways. Or he, sorry.
Yeah.
Sometimes he responds in his own ways. Sometimes with words, others not. This particular time, you sense that he has heard, and he is weighing. He's weighing the options for you, essentially. When I say he communicates in words and sometimes doesn't, when he doesn't communicate with words, he'll sometimes, what you believe to be essentially feelings passed on to you, and whatever way you're feeling after praying is what you attribute to him giving to you, essentially. So yeah, I'll leave it at that. You feel like he's weighing your options, and yeah. So
Okay. Gotcha.
Orosi?
After taking stock for a moment of what I have in my inventory, Rosi's gonna stand up. He's gonna go to an area and an Iljor to have him tag along on his little trip through town again.
Well, are we heading out?
Yes.
Oh heck yeah, let's go. I'm excited.
Okay.
If he comes to get me, I probably am sitting, doing some kind of meditation with my blade. And I would, send it to its hidden domain and then tag along.
Okay. Iljor, Anarian, and Erosi, as you all have kind of gathered together to head out, you stop by Sylvia's room, and you walk in to see her head in a bucket praying. Sylvia, as you hear the door open, you guys see Sylvia's head come up out of the bucket, drenched in water. You can see it kind of beat up and fall
Sylvia,
down.
are you okay?
Are you all right, Sylvia?
Despite her blue skin, she kind of turns a bit red in the face. And she goes,
Was the basilisk a little much?
"Look,
Is this a
So-
side effects?
no. Understand, I am a Triton, and we pray to our god in the water usually, and there's none anywhere near that I could submerge myself in. So
Oh.
Believe it or not, I've seen Stranger Things.
Season
I
was
appreciate
kinda trash.
As you guys,
but what is it?
Me, Nerion, and Iljor here are gonna go in search of my kin. They're maybe in the town.
Okay. I'll tag along.
You coming along?
Heck yeah.
If you're coming along, I might as well go tell Carlisle to come along too.
The whole crew.
Carlisle steps out of his room as you guys are standing in the doorway. Are we leaving? Are we leaving yet? I feel like I've been kind of ready to. I settled in. I'm hyped. I'm like ready to do this.
Well,
All right. Follow me, and Rosie kind of, gestures for everyone to just kind of follow him. So, from what I understand, this kin of mine likes to travel around the bars in this town and lives in the residential district, but I don't know where exactly he lives. So, who wants to go in a bar crawl?
Boy, that
Oh
sounds
shit!
like
I didn't even
great
think about
time.
this.
I'm always down.
Didn't even think about this. Holy shit!
New shirt
I-
incoming. New
Although-
shirt incoming.
New
We
merch
might have
incoming.
Collectible mug.
Holy shit!
I need
Participated
to order
in
my
the-
shirt, actually.
I'll have to go and ask some of these tavern keepers, see if they've seen someone that looks like me, but in the meantime, we'll have some fun with it.
Okay. Erosi leading the way, bringing everybody.
I walk up behind Erosi and I put my arm around his neck. To the bar.
Furbolg already acting like he's wasted.
You are
Um,
such an interesting druid.
0 drinks in, already wasted.
Hey man, I gotta be honest. Living in the forest is great and all, but it's also kind of boring.
This is Iljor's fucking what's it?
Rumspringa.
Rumspringa. Thank you
Yeah.
for knowing exactly what I was trying to say. This is Iljor's Rumspringa, dude. Journeying though to the residential district on the eastern part of the city. I'm gonna take a quick break, bathroom break. Give me 5 seconds.
Cool,
Same.
I got P2.
Sure.
Ryan's gonna go quickly make a mug design.
Yes.
Make a piss deposit.
What's this town called again?
Thaldor.
Thaldor.
I almost puked myself in Thalbor Inn.
I visited the 9 bars of Thaldor. And all I got was acid puke. I don't know. Something 9 circles of hell.
Right, Ryan. Let's see the mug design. that you scrawled on a piece of toilet paper in the bathroom.
I participated in the 5e bar crawl. Is that Vasic's toilet or what was that?
Bro, I heard somebody just flush it.
Well, apparently my noise suppression isn't going.
I heard you piss too.
Oh, no!
Amazing. No. What
title
was this
has
noise
transferred.
suppression
That's
on for?
recorded.
There is
too.
a new big piss in town.
Yeah, there is. A second. This will be better. Let's see here.
You changing your Discord name?
Perhaps. If I stop fuddling around for a moment.
Well, we'll move on to the next portion.
Engagement.
Yeah, venturing off towards the residential district. You guys had visited several bars, a couple that didn't really seem, especially to you, Orosi, walking in, didn't really seem like the type of place that this man would hang out. Questioning a couple people, they had not heard of a name or a dragonborn by the name of Khadgar. One of the last few remaining taverns in the area, at least in the residential district, is that of a. It's shit, man, my notes. It's a tavern by the name of the Gold Trout. Stepping through the double doors of the Gold Trout, there are various dwarves, a couple dragonborn that you don't recognize, but a whole lot of humans. The bar doesn't seem to be particularly packed, but yeah, it's very quaint.
I'm gonna go walk.
Have any cool drinks?
So let's go see what they have, Iljor.
And I'm gonna kind of scout the tavern out, try and see if I can spot any Orosi that kind of match his, or any not Orosi, any Dragonborn that match, his complexion or anything, something that might give it away, and also just kind of see if there's, just keep an eye out, basically, be Overwatch.
Okay. Orosi, Iljor, Sylvia, as you walk up to the bar, a half-orc individual standing approximately 6 feet tall, longish hair. Normally orcs or half-orcs tend to have their hair shaved to a decent length. This one has just kind of let his grow. Purely personal preference, but like I said, he stands around 6 feet tall. Not really doing much, just kind of going about the day, doing various cleanup sessions with in and around the bar itself. As you step up, he kind of brings his attention towards you. Yeah, anything I can get you?
Me and my friends here are looking for some drinks, and Orosi takes out a gold coin. You would happen to have seen another that looks like me, have you? Gold, perhaps?
Another one
By
that
the
looks
name
like
of
you.
Yes, by the name of Orosi Khadgar.
A dragonborn. Correct.
Yes.
Yeah.
Whoa, shit.
Yo.
Hey.
Hey. Gee, how long you guys been going?
About an hour.
About an hour or so.
Right about an hour.
Ingrok and Zoom are in the chat.
Alright, sick. I got home earlier, but I kind of forgot like this was going on while I was chilling for a minute with talking to Bo. Yeah, I was like, oh shit.
It's all good. It's all good.
It's all good, man.
Anyways, the half-orc thinks for about a moment. I can't say the name Khadgar rings a bell.
Archmage Khadgar.
Why do you ask? What's this individual mean to you?
Well, let's just say I'm an old friend of his. And I'm looking to reconnect.
Okay. As I make room for Cody in here.
Also, you got any house brew liquor?
No,
You're just in
we
time
don't.
for the bar crawl.
Damn it.
I think he's at the tail end of the bar crawl.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true. There was only 2 bars, wasn't there?
There was a few, but
There was a few? Oh.
I got 2 bars.
very well.
Yeah, I got 2 bars.
Like I said, I don't believe I've heard of any sort of Khadgar. And as the half-orc kind of goes on with various routes you could pursue in finding the man, a voice speaks up from a few stools down. I'm going to kind of bring down the music a little bit, sorry. Orosi Khadgar, yeah? As you look over at a Goliath sitting at one of the stools. Did you see the name Orosi Khadgar, no?
Yes.
You know, I think I did a few community meets with that individual. He's a very nice guy. He lives not too far from here. He's very involved with the community here. It's he seems kind of slightly drunk, but is able to get his words out fairly decently. Why did you say you were looking for him?
Let's see. Orosi goes ahead and pulls out another gold coin. I'm looking for an old friend, more or less.
Are you
Next one's on me.
Are you conveying it? Is it like a bribe?
Not as like a bribe, but it's just like a, hey, help me out. I'll help you out with your next round, basically.
Okay.
It's not a bribe, it's a suggestion.
Exactly.
As you throw a gold coin down on the countertop, and just out of frame, you see a hand come over and put another drink next to the Goliath. Well, I appreciate that, but this Orosi Khadgar, though, he usually just goes by Khadgar. I could show you where he lives. You don't seem very threatening. You even kind of look like him a little bit. Are you two related, or?
We share a name. I am Orosi Rogar. If you would so kindly, please, if you can show me where he lives, I would be very grateful.
Oh yeah, sure thing. I don't know what he does on rest days, but I mean, he should be at home. Let me get you an address real quick. As the Goliath speaks to the barkeep very briefly, asks for a sheet of parchment. He scribbles down the name of a street and a number, and he slides it over to you. Cody, are you in Foundry and everything?
Should be, yeah.
Okay.
It's just on a still image, if that's not still, but
Yeah. The image.
Yes, that is the correct scene.
Yes.
yeah.
Looking over the paper, Orosi, it is an address. He slides it over to you. I do believe he lives in this area, this particular house. Again, if I'm incorrect, he's got to live within a few houses. My memory is a little hazy. I've met the man a few times. He's very vocal. He's very outgoing. I don't know. I enjoy his company. I think yeah, is anything else I can help you with?
Oh, you have done plenty for me. Thank you very much.
No problem. Barkeep, another drink, please. As he slides his own gold. Now he's got basically like a half drink mug of ale, and then another one coming.
Did you all learn you could just use gifts in Foundry or something?
It's a new thing.
It's a new thing.
Fucking CJ.
I talked it over earlier. Foundry had an update. I had to backtrack the entire update to get things to work again. I had to re-download the the modules individually, and the GIF one was the only new one. So.
In
That's
case you were
funny as
curious,
fuck.
you can send them in other languages.
Yes, you can.
Wait, what?
So if you choose
send one in Elvish, and I'll be able to read it.
yeah, only Nick and myself,
Oh yeah,
I
I've
also
seen-
have Elvish.
or
I've
or
seen-
Soya.
Fuck this
I'm seeing
party. I
lots
got
of
nothing that this party shares, bro. I
You
can
don't
talk
speak
to
Elvish?
Ryan all the fucking time.
Wait, you
okay?
don't speak Elvish?
I don't speak. You know, you think you would. You think this class would come, or this race would come with that.
That's
no,
weird.
they'll give you Sylvan.
Oh, yeah, because
Yeah.
they'll pay. That makes sense, though.
If you have Draconic, maybe, but
You're
Oh,
still
I can do that.
elf in
I
some
got you.
way, but yeah, it's more Fey driven. But you
It
know what the
makes
fucked
sense.
up thing is? I spent most of my life in the material plane,
Yeah, get fucked, stupid.
not the Feywild. And I still speak Fey, yeah.
To catch you up, Cody, the party has arrived in Thaldor.
Yeah.
And their point of contact right now, their only point of contact in the city, is a alleged survivor of the attack on the Arosi clan.
Ooh.
A dragonborn by the name of Arosi Khadgar.
Is the attack on his clan isn't like well known or anything though, right? Like we don't know about it.
No, you guys
Do
don't
we?
know.
no.
Okay.
But I mean, so Arosi and Carlisle sort of knew each other a little bit beforehand. I don't know if
I guess that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
fair, yeah.
I don't know if you've indulged that. I would assume that you would at least know the clan's not around anymore. I think, but yeah, I guess I may be spilling out too much information. It's an alleged member of the clan that you believe is gone.
Yeah. You can imagine the whole situation is like there's other clans in the area. If you study it well enough, okay, you're gonna know, but it's not like super common knowledge.
I haven't
More or
indulged what happened to them, have I?
No, you have not.
We don't. I don't know anything.
Other than
So.
that there's a disaster and not a lot of them can be seen, basically.
Gotcha. Okay, I was hoping at least I kept that part.
Yeah.
You did say attack, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You know what I had originally planned for me and Basic's characters kind of happened with me and Eli's characters instead. So the whole thing is I'd picture if we're gonna have it this way, Carlisle and Arosi are kind of just more acquaintances.
Yes.
If
Yes.
you would say, or just kind of they have each other's contact
Yeah.
info.
Yeah.
Here, you need a favor.
Yeah.
You call this. Or whatever the fuck. But
Yes.
no numbers, obviously. Fantasy world.
Yeah.
Me and Eli's characters are it should be more like a brother and sister almost.
Okay.
At this point, where
Yeah.
they know more about their fucking lives.
Right. That's kind of how I viewed it as well. Now is that
It's you're almost like a sibling at this point. I know so much about you, type shit.
Okay. Okay. But yeah, so they just received an address from a Goliath of where he might be staying, and without indulging too much information about the story behind it, all Arosi has said is that there might be a surviving member of my clan here, and I would like to find him, essentially.
Oh yeah, I would have just as Carlisle, I probably definitely would have just been let's get to it, let's do this.
Yeah, that's
I-
exactly
I,
how I played your character. He was ready
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
I also did frame it as a bar crawl as well, so
He did.
Yeah, I think they're good enough friends where it's like, yeah, I got you. Let's go.
Would you agree with the information thus far, Orosi?
Yeah.
Okay. So, obtaining the slip of parchment. I gotta get this fucking Elmo gif out of here, bro. Hold on. There we go. No, wait, now the fish is there. Okay, I'm just gonna close this. Like, yeah. So obtaining the slip of paper, speaking with the Goliath, the consensus now is to venture out and find this individual. I presume.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have whatever drinks we have, and move on.
I need to figure out why that is not playing, but having your drinks, paying for them as you leave. The journey to the residential district, or more so of like the housing, isn't a very far walk. Following the directions given to you on the slip of paper, essentially, looking amongst the streets, as none of you are really familiar with like street names. I've mentioned that a couple of you have been here before, but none of you have the knowledge of knowing where places exactly are.
Sort of following Orosi around. I'm assuming he knows what's going on.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest with you. I hear the name Thaldor as a city, and I cannot picture not Falador from RuneScape.
Shut up. Stop. I was trying not to think about it.
Wait, what?
There's a city name in RuneScape called Falador.
Oh, Falador?
So Thaldor.
Oh shit.
It's a curse.
My bad.
No, you good. But I cannot not picture that now. Like I hear the name. Oh. Yeah, enjoy Nick, bitch.
Searching for about a half hour, you come upon the street name and it clicks in your mind like, okay, this is it. Following the houses down, the numbers, 523, 524, you eventually make it to the correct house, and the house is not like you would picture it. I'm gonna turn that music just a little bit. It's not like how you would picture it. This Orosi Khadgar, former member of Clan Orosi, living here doesn't seem very like an Orosi clan member. It's been 10 years since the incident, but you're still almost not willing to believe it. I'm assuming you will all step up and knock on the door.
I think we all stay back except for Orosi.
Yeah, I would let Orosi knock.
I would probably be alone in this.
I absolutely keep my distance, like I told him.
Okay.
I stay by Anarion because he told me to stay out of the way.
Yo, but if he attacks Orosi, we gotta jump.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You step up to the blue painted wood door, knocking a few times. For a few moments, you hear some rustling inside. A few seconds pass, and the door clicks open, and you hear the door eerily squeak. Comes about, 4 or 5 inches, and you see a female dragonborn open the door. As you can see her face, she's very clean, dressed in fairly upper middle class garb. Yes, can I help you?
Hi. I'm a Orosi Orosi Rogar. That was entirely wrong. I'm Orosi Rogar of Clan Orosi. I am looking for one of my kin.
And who might that name belong to?
Orosi Khadgar.
You hear kind of move away from the door a little bit. Honey, someone is here to see you. As She opens the door a little bit more, kind of being cautious, though. Not cautious, but also freely, since you are a Dragonborn, she seems a little bit more comfortable. As the door swings open, you kind of peer inside, and you see a man, a Dragonborn, standing approximately 6'3", standing probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 feet away. The light kind of coming in through the doorway. He seemed to be messing about with various things in the living room area. He almost does a double take at you, and for a moment, it's this kind of stare between you two, looking him up and down, him looking you up and down. This is very much, in fact, in the flesh, a former member of Clan Arosi that you know of, or that you know by the name of Arosi Khadgar. You see him step forward, and as the rest of the party, you now see this Dragonborn male individual kind of come into view. The silence is deafening at this point. He looks at you, comes closer upon further examination. The first words out of his mouth: "It cannot be. 9 years, 4 months, and 27 days since I've seen this face. Brother." As he just goes in for a hug.
Big hug, yes. Ugh.
Morons. Looking motherfuckers.
I don't understand.
I don't know either. Ever since that day, it's been strange. I thought everyone was gone. Are you the only one that's in this town?
That I know of, I thought everybody had perished as well. I don't... How did you find me?
I've taken up work in the Thieves Guild, more or less. I've traveled around and I've learned of a couple names that might be involved behind that disaster, but one stood out to me. It was Khadgar. It mentioned that you were here in Thaldor somewhere.
Yeah, I have been living here for quite some time. Like I said, I thought everybody else had perished. How did you make it out?
Took a small boat down the river. Only took a spear and shield with me and a tome. Ever since then, I've more or less just been on my own, working for that Thieves Guild, working as a gladiator on occasions.
I will never forget. I will never forget the day my blood brother and near the entirety of my first family almost didn't make it. I still have the blade. I still have the scar of the dagger that pierced me that day, as he kind of like lifts up his hide shirt. You could see this black scar running down his it's fairly small. I wouldn't say running down, but definitely the scar of a wound of a fairly large dagger, just on the surface of his dark orange scales. After being wounded in battle, I was sent off to Del Riven. The rest stayed back. I feared for my life, Rogar. I did. I wasn't sure if they would come back for me or anybody else that made it out. spent the next 8 months in physical therapy there in Del Riven, and well, I'm sure you understand I had to start my life over, Rogar.
Oh. You wouldn't be yourself if you were where you are now, it seems. I imagine most of us would take up some sort of fighting ventures, but... well, here we are. It's supposed to be easier to go talk this over to some drinks elsewhere. Would you like to?
I think I would love that. As he looks to his significant other, the Dragonborn female, as she is not really understanding the full nature of what's going on, but she seemingly nods as he grabs a coat to venture out the door. He steps out, and she says to him, "Don't forget, the kids come home at 4. He turns around. "I know. I'll be back before then." Stepping out, Orosi Rogar and Orosi Khadgar coming down the steps towards the rest of the party. He speaks out. These are your friends.
Yes. I've only been with him but for a short while, but I'd walk through fire with him.
At least I got turned to stone.
Did you now?
Oh yeah, there's a story behind that. We can tell you all about it.
Well, everyone, my name is Orosi Khadgar. I'm not sure how much Rogar has told you about myself, but I'm still in utter shock. I almost don't believe this is actually happening.
To be honest, we don't know a whole lot.
It's been terrible, but I suppose it's better if I talk a little bit more over at some drinks. Come.
A friend of
Khadgar.
Orosi's is a friend of ours.
As you...
Or a friend of, Rogar's. Sorry. It fucks me up.
Yeah.
This was intentional, by the way.
Yeah.
As you venture towards the nearest tavern, which would be the Gold Trout once more, the place seemingly has kind of, for the most part, faded out as far as people inside. You're able to grab a table for 6. Everybody sits down, orders a couple drinks. So, Rogar, again, this is just almost unbelievable. You said that there was more that possibly could have made it out?
Possibly. After I've seen your name, I imagine that others could have made it, but...
I don't know what to
For
say.
right now, though, I am hunting the cultists. I found out that they're the cultists of Tiamat. From the list of names I have encountered, I don't know where many of them are, but as of right now, I'm adventuring with these others that I've come across. This is Niljor, Anarion, Carlisle, and Sylvia.
Hello.
I'm Iljor.
I'm hoping that in my time with them, that I could potentially root out these cultists, and perhaps maybe find more of our own. But so far, you've been one of the first few fruits of my adventures.
I heard rumors of some making it out, but I never believed them. I think the numbers are somewhat inflated. As far as who made it out, I wouldn't be surprised if we were the only 2, but if you found me, I guess anything is possible.
Yes.
Is that why you're here in Valdor? Is to find me?
Yes. Yes. Well, one of the reasons. I still owe some part of my I'm losing the word to it right now. This is kind of a dramatic moment. Um, part of my reason for my presence here is to accompany these lot as well. I in part owe a debt to some of them, as well as they need me.
He's proven himself a very capable comrade.
As I would believe, naturally. I don't suppose you all call him Plate Cruncher as well.
Oh,
Can't say
Want
that
to
I
hear
do.
the story behind that one?
it's nothing new. When we were sparring and we were growing up, I would often dent shields.
He's being modest.
Oh,
Oh, you should have seen what he did during this fight with the basilisk that turned me to stone, man.
Oh, really? Why don't you tell me all about it, Rogar?
He was fighting with this blindfold on, this madman. So the basilisk couldn't get him, but there was like a swarm of zombies attacking at the same time. So he was over there fighting the zombies all blindfolded and stuff, and they just kept coming. They just kept beating the crap out of him.
That's typical Rogar. I gotta say, I'm not surprised. This other venture, though, in Thaldor, is there anything that I could do to help?
I don't want to pry you too much. I see that you've already got family here, so. But that being the case, if there are others, I'll gather. I'll be sure to bring a force directly to those cultists.
I have to admit, it's been quite some time since I've even really gone out and seen much of the outside of Thaldor. Please, if there's anything I could do to help or give you guidance on, I've lived here for nearly a decade. Safe to say I know a
Well,
little bit.
How
And I'm-
familiar are you with the mountains?
The Dieaker.
Yeah.
Well, it's a very harsh environment. If I'm correct in assuming that that's your next place, your next stop, I would recommend the necessary equipment.
Got a preferred shop and that sort of thing?
Say again?
You have a preferred shop for buying that sort of stuff?
I don't. Like I said, I don't venture out as much as I used to. However,
I'm imagining we're looking for just the equipment, a shopping list.
well, it's very cold. Any sort of warm gear and things to produce a campfire. The weather is very harsh. You will encounter snowstorms, very much so. But yeah, if there's any place in particular you're trying to go, and if you've never been there before, I could perhaps lend some aid. I do have a wife and kids here, but they will understand. They know very little about where we come from, but
I know that my compatriots here are also in search of something in specific in the mountains. I don't have the details, they escape me right now, but I know that we're going into the mountains to,
Deal with something dangerous.
yes.
deal with something dangerous.
Shall we say dispose?
Okay.
We are looking for an old dungeon, but I don't know if the details would really be telling. We're looking for something that irrevocably destroys something.
Well, I'm not too familiar with anything like that in the Dieaker, but I'm sorry. I wish I could help you a little bit more. If that's what exactly do you mean?
Well,
Like,
my friend.
I look at Orosi, Rogar, not Khadgar. There's like, give him a look. He's like, I don't know how much we should reveal about it.
I would leave that up to my friends here, though.
I don't mean to pry.
do-
I apologize. I'm just genuinely curious seeing somebody
Of course.
from my first family, Rogar. You know,
It's of the privacies of another of my party members here, so it's more or less a touchy subject, and I'm not entirely certain if I should even ask them, like I did.
It's
Need
just
not
real
say more.
personal to me, so I don't feel too comfortable speaking about it publicly.
Yes.
need not say more.
There is another matter. We undertook a task of finding missing people in the. They were lost in the mountains, and all we really know is we're looking for a female dwarf and a man. Do you?
They were in search of some architecture or ruins that wasn't previous there in the mountains. I don't know if that means much to you since you haven't left the city in a long time.
I know of an abandoned village, about a day's trek within the mountains, but that doesn't sound like anything. I quietly follow the Adventurers Guild, though I do not participate. I'm not familiar with any sort of groups of individuals going there to investigate anything. I'm not even quite sure if what we're talking about is the same thing, but I wouldn't have any information on that. But I feel like we're more or less talking about work. I mean, how have you been in the last 10 years, Rogar?
Well,
At this point, after he kind of says that, Anarion's gonna kind of slowly excuse himself from the table and make his way to, like, do they have like a bar, like an actual bar that
Yeah.
you can sit at?
Yeah.
I'll make my way over there and get myself a drink there.
Okay.
Kind of try to leave them to have their conversation, catch up.
Well, shit, now that Anarion's done that, I suppose I should ward away the other ones as well.
Essentially, like having a one-on-one with.
Having a one-on-one, basically. Yes.
Okay. As the inherent sort of body language between the two Dragonborn are very much apparent. Khadgar looks over to the Furbolg, the Eladrin, and the Triton. Looks over at Anarion. I apologize if you three could excuse us for a moment. And he looks over at you, Rogar.
Sylvia walks away.
Yeah.
Oh, I was assuming that they were getting up.
No. He's essentially gesturing towards Anarion sitting at the bar.
The two Dragonborn are telling the four other people to leave, more or less.
Oh,
Yeah, Anarion just orders a drink for himself.
Yeah.
And,
But
Rogar, what seems to be on your mind?
I am looking for vengeance. But if I do find more of our kind and rebuild ourselves, would you come and join us?
The Dragonborn grasps his stein of ale. Rogar, it's very tempting. I have a family now. I have kids. I've lived here for nearly a decade.
I didn't say you couldn't bring them with you. That being said, I'm not pressing you on this.
That decision wouldn't necessarily be just myself to make.
I'm not expecting an answer right now either. And also, there might be a time where I may call upon those very same people that come join me to end those cultists. I'm not just looking for support as a group, though you don't have to participate in combat, but I will need help with this venture. Even though the people that I have with me, I trust them and I expect we can take on a lot, there's more to just taking on an entire group like this cult. There are many in number, and I'm not entirely certain if I'll need a small army for it.
Rogar, let's make something very clear. As you know, my blood brother was killed in that attack. If your intentions are to seek out the cult and find them, you can count me by your side. That is 100% a fact. As for the rebuilding of the clan, though, it all just depends on where it's at and where we're at in our lives. It's not out of the realm of possibility, is what I'm trying to say.
Of course. As I said, I'm not expecting an answer now, and we'll work our way to the details as we come. But once we're established, we'll find a way to officially strike on these cultists. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. In the meantime, I'm working. And Rogar raises his stein to absent brothers and sisters.
To the Erosi clan. Glasses clink. You both take a drink. As a few minutes goes by, those who are sitting at the bar drinking, dialogue is exchanged between the two Dragonborn over quite some time. He gestures to you as the kind of conversation leads to most of like how have you guys been doing and what the like where you're at in life, essentially the basics. It's you guys are very much brothers, but he has seemingly forgotten that part of his life, and it's all kind of coming back as if repressed memories are coming to the surface. Rogar, I think it's time that we invite your friends back. I feel a strong connection between every single one of you, and I don't want them to feel out of place because I do.
Oh, of course. Rogar stands up to go and collect his friends, invite them back to the table.
Has anybody been doing anything in the meantime at the bar besides just ordering drinks and?
Just drinking.
Okay.
Unless anybody talks to me. That is all Anarion is doing.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd be having a drink with an Arion.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just corral everybody and just let it all devolve into senseless nonsense until we have to leave for one thing or another.
That like while everybody else like the stools are like reasonable sized, it's just Iljor sitting on like a stool that's too small.
Yes, it's very much meant. I mean, this is kind of what happens everywhere you go. Along with Erosi, sometimes is the seats are just slightly too small. Mainly for you. I mean, you're basically giant kin, but talks of the journeys thus far amongst the group, some individual, some together. Orosi Khadgar has basically explained his story of his time in Del Riven and physical therapy and moving to Thaldor, meeting his wife. Azalea is her name, the female dragonborn that has resided in Thaldor for quite some time. It's actually where he met her. He hasn't had much adventures since his time in Orosi clan and has just kind of led a quiet life. But the topic of the Dyeker Mountains is brought up again. He says, you know, if you are planning to trek through the Dyeker, I might be able to set you on the right path. Depending on where you're going,
That'd be great help.
depending on where you're going, the roads can get, well, at least by horse and carriage, impassable. There are ways to, valleys to trek on foot, depending on where you're going. But like I said, I didn't want to press, but the offer is there.
Well, if you happen to know your way to a particular Duragar mine, it was Duragar, right?
Yep.
Yeah, to a particular Duragar mine in the Dyeker, that would certainly make our lives a little easier on the way.
The mines of Doomgore.
That would be them.
Why in the world would you want to travel there?
Well, the thing that we got, we really need to take care of, and we heard that there was an area down there where we could get rid of it.
Very well, very well. I didn't want to press, but I'm just fairly curious. Doomgore. Yes, it's a journey, a harsh one at that. I could give you directions, but the climate and such up there can change drastically. But I might be able to set you on the right foot.
That would
Be very thankful for it.
definitely aid us.
When it comes down to equipment and necessary gear, though, you're gonna want warm clothing, shelter, food. It's nearly a blizzard once you get past the forest and actually reach the mountains.
Probably best we don't take our horses.
You can take them a bit, but the journey will mostly be on foot. When did you plan on venturing out?
And Orosi looks to his allies.
Well, you know, relatively soon.
Probably within the next
Tomorrow
day.
would probably be ideal.
Very well. Actually, as he looks up at the clock. Oh my god. It's currently 3:30. My children will be home soon. I feel like we've talked for ages. Where are you staying for the night?
It was the Trout Tavern, I think it was.
Golden
I
Trout.
Golden Trout Tavern.
The tavern was called the Intrepid Flame, where you guys were staying.
Yeah, the Golden Trout is where we're at right now.
The Golden Trout's where we at. We're at the
The Intrepid Flame.
Intrepid Flame.
I suppose I could meet you there at a certain time. I can only journey so far, but like I said, I can set you off on the right foot.
Whatever works for you.
Be thankful for the help.
Yeah, it's
We've-
much appreciated.
Yes.
Does 9 o'clock say tomorrow?
Sounds good.
Sounds perfect.
How long do you think it would take to get where we want to go?
Well, that all depends on the weather. A day and a half at least. It should take you no more than 2 days, though.
Okay.
No, you guys stay in.
Well, it sounds like we're gonna have a fun time.
So I apologize. I must leave to pick up my children.
Of course.
It was
9
nice
a.m.
meeting you, friend.
9 a.m. Intrepid Flame. I will be there.
That'd be right.
Rogar, I can't thank you enough for you coming here.
Yes. Also, I'm not entirely comfortable carrying around what is probably the last surviving original weapons from our clan, so I have a spear and a shield. Would you like to keep them under your protection while I'm out on my ventures?
If that's okay with you, it's funny you mentioned them because, I still have mine as well.
You do?
I do. But if you would like someplace to have it be protected, consider it done.
Thank you.
As you pass along the weapon, it's just the spear and shield, correct?
It's a spear and shield, yeah.
Okay.
And I'll spend some gold on however much it is to get myself a new set.
Okay. Passing along the gear, saying your farewells. This moment of almost bliss, this elevating emotion as he steps out the double doors, as the silhouette passes just outside of the light. This sort of feeling of there's more of me, and that no matter what happens to me, a part of the clan still lives on in some fashion, whether that not technically be the way you had pictured the clan to be at this point 10 years later. The clan's blood is being passed along in some ways, so that has essentially made you fearless about what the coming days hold. You take the time. I said it's about 3:30. I'm assuming the goal right now is to venture out and get the gear, essentially.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick up some cold weather clothes and other shit that would assist us in surviving in that environment.
Okay. The shopping experience takes the better part of a couple hours. Besides cold weather gear, which costs approximately 4 silver pieces for each of you. This is cold weather gear that's going to kind of go over your armor, and it's sufficient, and it's not by any means low end or anything. So attribute the cold weather gear to yourselves, as well as any sort of other provisions, rations for approximately 2 days for this journey. Is there anything else specifically you would like to buy while you guys are shopping?
Does anybody have any flint and steel? Like tinderbox? Yeah, that would work. I'm gonna just get some, if any of the shops are selling any like bundles of firewood or something, something that we can use to make an emergency campfire or anything like that.
I can carry him in the bag if you want me.
This is very true.
Yeah, I mean, I pick them up.
Okay.
I buy them, I guess, is what I'm saying.
Several places will sell free firewood, as it's pretty much excess at this point, so you could pick some up.
Yeah, definitely. I'll grab a couple bundles of firewood, a couple nights worth.
Luckily, I'll have a bit of natural advantage, racial advantage in the winter.
This is
Being
true.
a cold boy.
Yeah, cold boy.
Would you need the necessary cold weather gear? I'm not sure entirely about the specifics of your class, Cody, but
It's not like it says it has any cold resistance, but I was thinking like theme-wise, it would kind of, it's right to not like really, maybe not like obviously I can't just go naked, right?
Yeah.
But I thought it would like make sense, like he was a little more resilient to the weather.
okay.
Like,
I'll roll with that.
especially since he's been in that state.
Okay, yeah, I would say I would say that your gear as of right now suffices for the journey. So no need to purchase any cold weather gear. But Yeah, as long as you guys have shelter, like tents or
Routine.
anything. What was
Yep,
that?
I've got my own tent.
Things on fire.
Um,
What are we bringing? Put 'em in.
I would assume a handful is enough. Like I said, it's free, so you don't really have to calculate much of anything, but somewhat like efficient, or sufficient enough for
Yeah.
a campfire for a
I
couple
just
nights.
yeah, I grab a couple nights of campfire worth basically.
Mm-hmm.
And
I'll buy a tent as well.
Do you not already have a
let's
tent?
see.
No.
Oh shit.
Do I have a tent?
Ildrid just sleeps in the ground, doesn't
it,
he?
It is a 2-person tent.
Yay!
I have a
Yay.
bedroll.
I thought you guys had picked up tents back in
I
Anchorage or
picked up-
something.
I
I
picked up
for
a
sure
tent.
have one. I think
Yeah.
I've had one for a while.
Let me see here. I'm also gonna pick up the spear and shield that I'm missing. I don't know how much gold that's gonna run me, and I think I might pick up another weapon as well.
Okay, we'll go with the book prices for the spear and shield that you pick up, as
Alright,
well as any
then.
other weapon.
I'll go ahead and do that bit right then.
Okay.
I'll grab a tent just for this.
And I don't know if anybody like all the armorers are probably well no, because he's buying a spear and shield. Can I try and sell the scimitar that I found in the dungeon?
Why,
Yeah.
you found
Anyways,
a scimitar?
buying it. Yeah, it's just a basic ass scimitar.
About to say I.
If it was a better scimitar than a regular scimitar, I would have definitely offered it to you. But it is just a normal scimitar.
Um.
I mean, it might be a dwarven scimitar. I don't know
No, it's a
because
regular.
it was in the dungeon.
It's a regular scimitar.
Okay.
The shopkeep offers you 14 gold for it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll sell it to him.
Okay.
Some extra money for provisions and shit.
So you got your cold weather gear.
Yeah, I need to add that.
Get your campfire. You guys have spells to like essentially act as like a flare gun, right? Or any sort of anything like that.
I've got
perhaps?
dancing lights.
We do have Emur.
We
Yes.
do
That's
indeed
true.
have a
Emor-
fire bar.
Emor can literally fly.
This is true.
He's a living.
Like he also can melt snow as well for like to like purify
Yeah.
water or something, or like boil.
I don't see an item I'm searching for it and I don't see cold weather clothing or gear or anything.
Maybe
So,
not.
I know it exists, but I mean,
I've just made a custom thing for it for cold
Just-
weather gear.
where do you make the custom items again?
Um,
Oh, create item, I see.
yeah.
Would you just do loot or equipment? There you go.
Equipment. Yeah.
Is there anything else anybody would like to purchase before I guess resting for the night and hitting it up early in the morning?
Sylvia's gonna go around and use what's left over alms box to feed the homeless.
Okay, I will take note of that.
Anarion would just go to his room and before bed he would probably do a quick again, meditation's a kind of a generic word for it, but try to build his connection to his blade, and then probably head to bed.
Okay. Meandering about the streets this afternoon, purchasing your items, exploring a little bit of the city and getting the footprint under your belt. Sylvia, doing your good deeds. Anarian, bringing yourself closer to your sword. If anybody else isn't doing anything in particular, I'll say for the better part of the day, you guys are essentially relaxing and preparing for the day ahead. Are we good to go ahead and skip to the next day?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Um,
Time warp again.
Resting in for the night. The night passes fairly quickly, as most of you have gotten an adequate amount of sleep. The hours roll by in the morning until we get to nearly 9 o'clock. And sure enough, packing your things, checking out with the barkeep, grabbing some snacks at the bar that cost essentially nothing, just to kind of have something in your stomach this morning. Arosi Khadgar stands there, ready to go, as you
See Chad God.
as you exit the building. Oh, just glad to see you guys made it.
Good to see you.
I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little nervous. I'm a little excited, especially to be working with an old partner of mine.
Yeah, well, let this day be legend then.
Do you have any sort of means of transportation, Rogar?
We
Oh,
do
yeah,
have
we got a
horses.
carriage.
We do have a carriage stabled.
That's perfect. We can take it to the northern part of the city. From there, you can drop it off. We can trek about an hour north. Or you can take it the hour north, and well, that would really be up to you. If
I'm not entirely
Would,
comfortable trying to leave a couple horses out in the cold like we are.
Well, you
even
don't
if we
plan
do
on
bring them.
you don't plan on going the whole way with us, do you, Khadgar?
Well,
I'll
you did
trek.
say that.
I'll trek a little bit up the mountain, but there are places that are too harsh for me.
Would you be willing to return the horse and carriage to the stables for us if we were to take it?
Absolutely.
Oh, there it is. That'll get us there a little quicker.
Very well. If everybody is good to go, I guess I'll just be following you to your horse and carriage.
Great.
As a Rosi, Rogar leads the way. Everybody. The city this morning is much more lively than the previous day, it being a Saturday, though rest days are on either side of Saturday. Saturday is even though it's still a weekend, is still the time to everybody to sort of catch up if they needed to, and is much more bustling with various instances of bartering and that sort of means working. You journey to the southern part of the city, obtain the horse and carriage, pay for the overnight stay of the horses, which isn't very much. It's approximately 5 silver. Khadgar speaks to the stable keep and arranges a deal, and pays for it out of his pocket. Obtaining the horse and carriage, you guys take it to the northern part of the city, which doesn't take more than about 20-30 minutes. Venturing off to the northern part of the city, or out of the northern part of the city. It's about an hour on foot to the base of the mountains. You guys probably get there in about 30 with the horse and carriage. The roads north of Thaldor are very much more hilly than the rest of the region down below. You guys aren't necessarily trekking up, but it's more so out, and it turns into more, instead of plains and open areas, it's much more forest-like.
Yeah.
The road kind of curves and follows the base of the mountains, kind of more east, as Khadgar puts his hand on your shoulder, Rogar. Right about here is where we stop. We'll have to make the rest of our journey on foot from here.
Thank
That'll
you.
work. I'll find a place to tie off the horses.
Khadgar takes the reins and fastens the.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He kind of gestures to a small tree that's near. It's very fine. I can probably make it back in about a couple hours or so if we trek about an hour in. But the horses won't remain here for long. They're genuinely safe in this region, at least.
I'll make sure there's some feed nearby for them to. Do we have what are those called?
Yep.
The things that go over their faces that allow them to fucking eat.
The
I don't remember the term for it.
It starts with an M.
Muzzle.
Muzzles.
Yeah. Like that have feed in them. So just make sure that those are topped off for them, so that they're not starving or anything.
Very well. As everybody takes the necessary equipment and gets ready, putting on their. It's not super cold in this region, but having the gear ready. You guys, bring you back to the.
Khadgar and Rogar. Loktar. Rogar.
Where's that from?
Wow,
Oh,
right?
yeah, wow,
World of
wow.
Warcraft.
They say Loktar Ogar or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like the word cry of the orcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that. Shit. Oh, tiles.
Loktar, Rogar.
Lok-
Oh my god.
Rogar.
That means victory or death, I think.
Yeah.
As you guys had fastened the horses to a small tree. You trek probably about 45 minutes. The temperature has dropped fairly quickly. You are still
Little bit
trekking
chillier.
onward.
Used to.
Yes, it's very not the climate you are used to as a furbolg, very obviously. The journey thus far, though it has seemingly been going forward, you guys have realized that for the past 30 minutes or so, you have actually been trekking up. Kind of weaving throughout these very rudimentary trails that have been sort of made. Khadgar stops for a moment, drops his bag, throws on his cold weather gear, as everybody follows suit. It's not very much further from here. As he looks overhead, you can see off in the distance snow along the the tops of the forests. The temperature becoming much more colder as you venture on. The snowfall begins to come down more heavily. The soft, crunchy leaves that once were under your feet are replaced by a mixture of dead leaves and a little bit of snow. And after a while, the leaves fade until it's just a blanket of snow. Journeying for about 30 or so minutes, the forest is now essentially all snow. The snowfall has picked up. You can still see approximately 30 or 40 feet in front of you, but the fogginess of the area is genuinely taking hold, as this environment is, like you said, Rap, it's not very familiar to a furbolg.
I'm used to a very temperate climate.
And even you, Sylvia, as a Triton, not home field advantage, as you'd say.
Yeah. I do get cold resistance as a Triton.
Oh, really? I'm
But,
guessing because of the depths of the sea.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Just always.
They ain't no tropic fish.
But it is a different kind of cold, though.
Okay. The winds begin to take hold. See if I can find it. Crap. As you guys have are trekking through the forest, Khadgar turns around and kind of gestures you, Rosi, to kind of come over to him.
What is it, brother?
As you guys are now walking hand in hand, the rest of the party behind. I can only make it probably another mile or so. The forest is going to break off. From there would just be plains. But I just wanted you to know. I'm almost at my end here.
Rosie nods.
The wind has picked up. It's much more severely snowing now, as it's almost a near shout to kind of talk to anybody within 10 feet. The temperature has still slowly been dropping, though the warmth of the sun, it's probably about 11, maybe getting closer to noon, as this might be the warmest of the day, though it's still fairly cold. The snowstorm has essentially blinded anything within 6 feet, essentially, of you guys. And you could really only see the person in front of you. Whoever's last in line wouldn't be able to see the first in line. And some time passes before you make it to the end of the forest. The snow below you has essentially crawled up a little bit past your ankles, as it has become more and more tiring to trek through. As you break the tree line, you are met in front of you with a landscape of mountainous, structures, mountains, trees, forests lining the.
Yeah.
I don't have any vision of this, by the
Same.
way.
Oh, hold on.
It said that I do not have any tokens.
Same.
Oh yeah, I did say that.
Gotcha. I haven't added one of these in a while, so I gotta do the fucking.
Oh yeah. Still,
Yeah,
it
just
is.
so we can actually
Like your
see
global
something.
vision.
Yeah, get a little idea.
Yeah.
You guys see it now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's like when I was fighting that basilisk. Oh wait.
The wind, like I said, the wind and the snowstorm has essentially almost blinded. You can kind of see this image is a little
Too clear, yeah.
Too clear. This is just to kind of give you an idea of where you're at, but you could see the mountains off in the distance, high above. For the most part, directly in front of you, it's really only the people and various trees. Yeah, like I said, breaking the tree line. Khadgar turns over to you, Rosi. Rogar, this is where I'll have to stop. The journey is just too dangerous for me.
I guess this is it for now. Safe travels, brother. And Rosie offers up a hand.
You guys do the the handshake.
Yeah.
Predator grasp.
Yeah, the predator grasp.
Predator grasp.
Fucking
Dylan.
Dylan.
You son of a bitch.
Fuck, man, I'm gonna watch that scene tonight.
Oh yeah.
As he kind of moves a hand in front of his face to kind of see everybody more clearly as they all gather around. It was a pleasure to meet you all. Hopefully we see each other again.
Travel back safely.
Thank you.
Be careful.
As this kind of final moment setting in. Rogar, you're going to travel this direction, so you hit an abandoned village. It'll only take you the better part of the day. After that, head east. You'll come to Mount Cross. It's the highest mountain in the region. You can't miss it. There, you will find Doomgore.
You have my gratitude, brother.
As he kind of gives a nod, and everybody kind of funnels in the direction. And just before he disappears in the whiteness of the snowstorm, Rogar, if you make it back, don't think I was able to get over our brothers so easily. I studied for many nights and risked my own life to find out more information about the cult. As a moment shared between you two, staring at each other. When I met Azalea, she convinced me that all was lost, and I should leave my old life behind. The thing is, I think I might have found something. A lead. Truth is, I haven't thought much about the Acclanarosi for quite some time. I just like to pass the information along. If you make it back.
Thank you.
Good luck, brother. I've already thought I had seen you for the last time once before. I'd like this time to be different.
It will be.
As you see him raise a hand, moving forward, he disappears into the whiteness of the storm. And we will end session there, boys.
Is never seen
Hey.
again.
Never seen again. Dies in the snowstorm.
He
loses
gets lost.
horses and carriage.
Yeah.
Fuck.
You know, we come back down this mountain pass, back towards town, and it's just nothing.
Bro,
horse is
damn, it
killed her.
ended there. I was about to talk to Orosi one-on-one. Oh my god.
Oh, alright, I did it.
That's a 20.
Nice.